I'm Daddy Mato.
I'm Joy Rock Chica.
I'm Sauda Bashir.
Okay. But unakaa poa. Thank you.
And welcome to Badcast.
Yeah.
So, you're stuck
also
there.
unakaa poa. Welcome to Badcast, everybody.
Yes.
You said. Kwenda. We are moving on. Why are you picking this thing conversation every week? I don't. Yeah. Like, no, I'm not saying anything.
We'll continue then.
Mato, I may insist, sana. Like, can we drop this? We drop it?
Kuishi kwingi, kuona mengi.
Exactly.
Aya. So, when we were last here, I think the last couple of weeks we've talked about career, we've talked about education, and one of the things that came up, or, one of the topics that, intrigued me was the idea of discussing how our education system, our current education systems, equip us, or rather could equip us to be what we are right now. Because I remember, kuna watu wanaingia pale Twitter, wanasemaga, squeezy, mimi ufanya niyocha nichukua career. I am a bank teller. So, mimi tangent, cosine, na cotax, na cosine zinanisaidia aje.
What is
zinanisaidia ama mole concept. Mole concept inanisaidia aje kwa life yangu. Kuna Bernoulli principle inanisaidia aje kwa life yangu. Ilikuwa physics. Yes. So
that's how you not dropped it.
Yes. So interesting thing is that's the 844 that we studied, at least sisi when you start to go in the working space as it is right now. Unless otherwise we will soma 844 na confirm. Unajua labda ulifanya hawa wasama labda walisoma IGSE.
Mato, I'm older than you.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
You're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
We were just in the same levels.
Exactly.
Of whatever.
Exactly.
And you repeat.
Age doesn't matter.
Can you respect your elders?
Age doesn't matter at this point.
It's but a number.
Age doesn't matter.
Anyway,
so
mimi nilisoma
844. You as well? Au kusomea IGSE British system
group of schools.
What are you thinking I did?
Because when you said when you were 9 and he would come back for summer holidays.
Also because you don't speak Swahili.
Yeah.
In the environment. We'll discuss it with the career part. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you.
So there is a chance that you did IGSE.
No, the upbringing aspect of it.
Oh, it's the upbringing.
You were brought up IGSE way.
I'll kuelewa kid for. Anyway, so one of the things that people would complain about at the time was the fact that 844 inatufanyisha vitu mingi sana. You need to know everything. That's in primary school and in high school. Kwanza sisi wenye tulifanya 7 subjects, and then was it 8 subjects and then 7 examinable?
In high school or in primary?
In primary school.
7 subjects.
Maths,
English,
Kiswahili,
science.
GHCR.
There was science.
Yes, science and agriculture.
There was science and agriculture, yes, but they came as one.
Yes.
GHC and then CRE or IRE.
Yeah. There was home science.
There was
music.
Art and craft and
music.
Yes. Art and craft and music.
Yes. And then there was it business or some? I think
business education.
In primary school there was no
there
business education.
There was
class 7.
I think they call it from class 7 or 6, 7.
Class 7.
B.Ed or something like that.
Yes.
Just B.Ed.
Yes.
There was B.Ed in primary school. Yes, there was
in
B.Ed.
class 7 or something.
But
like
what
that.
was it being
concept of business?
But
that's a bit of it. Yeah.
I remember B.Ed, yes. But what was it being examined with? Because I know art and craft and music was examined as well.
Yes.
GHC with CRE.
Well. Yeah.
There was social was it social science? No, that's in high school.
That was high school.
That's in high school. That's in high school.
Guys, social studies.
We had home science.
Yes.
Social studies.
Like
we had home science.
That covered a lot of stuff.
Hey, tulipika mandazi. Hey, tulishona. Where?
Because of boys, they used to give unawashonea to.
Do you know it's funny?
For your boyfriends.
It's funny that.
Yeah, so
you didn't have primary school boyfriends or girlfriends?
Wait, that's a whole conversation.
juu ya kukuwa na boyfriend.
Coupling.
You did.
No, see, unaweka chini ya maji. Wewe kama unaenda chini.
We were embarrassed.
So the thing about that education system is that it really pushed us to do everything.
Yeah.
And that way it exposed us to I know I can be what I want to be. If I work hard in it, I'll be what I want to be.
I know I can.
We've already done the lyrics. If you do the song, it doesn't make sense. Shatoka huko, Joy. Wacha kuchoma.
Sawa, niko slow hivyo leo. Tuendelee basi.
Anyway, so right now, okay, you're a parent. And you have your children who are doing what is currently CBC.
Not all of them. One is doing CBC. Yeah, a candidate at it. But the other one is doing 844.
How different is it?
What?
The two. What's
the CBC?
Because I've seen a lot of
what
parents complaining about this new system.
Where do I start?
The beginning.
Let me tell you, okay, this is the thing. A whole conversation also about taking your kids to boarding school and in day schooling. When my sons were in day school, the 844 is kawaida, but you know their subjects changed. Now they have social studies. And I think that's the only thing that changed me. I don't know. And CBC is quite different. You're totally involved. Totally involved. And I pity parents like me who are so busy. Sometimes you end up buying instead of helping the child create whatever they have been asked to do. So there's a big difference between 844 and CBC, because 844 is a bit more practical. You have to do it and you're learning it with experience. That's CBC. 844 akizile vitu nimekram.
Zilikuwa theory peke yake.
Yeah, a lot of theory. But like home science, art and craft, agriculture, those are a bit practical. Yes. But the rest, it's kind of, it's just, you have to cram it or just do it practically. Yeah, that's why I think easy subjects, because the story of the Bible, who doesn't? Well, you have to. It's something that we live every day, you see. But other subjects like mathematics, you have to really understand it. You have to do it, learn it. You can't cram it. CRE, home science, those ones are things that you can cram. But CBC, practical.
Okay, this is my question. When you say practical, because I've seen a couple of parents posting things that their kids have done. Isn't it pretty much what when we're doing art and craft and whatever we're doing?
Yes.
Is the difference now that parents now are more busy than they were during our time?
Yes.
Not really. It's just that now it's almost compulsory for the parents to be involved with the child, as compared to before, where ingekuwa tu mtoto anatumwa nyumbani na homework, mnaenda mnafanya tu group discussion mkiwa probably watoi fulani, ama wewe unaenda unajipanga unafanya homework yako.
Is it a weekend thing? Are they given the work during the week to present during the week?
The weekend, sometimes even during the week. But my experience then was they would be given some specific task to do by a specific time. Yeah, so it's not something that unaitishwa leo, kesho lazima wapeleke. Unless it's something doable, then wataitishwa leo, wapeleke kesho.
Anyway, the direction of this conversation ideally was to be, for example, when you were in primary school, did you know what you wanted to be in primary school?
Well,
in high school?
Were you being like, if someone asked
like
you?
Sauda wanted to be a doctor because of a boy. I wanted to. I still think I really still wanted to fly. It's some passion that I really have.
Even when you were jumping up and down playing basketball in high school, you still wanted to fly, and you were going to hurt your knees, and you're supposed to show knees when you're flying.
Legs.
Yes, that was the easiest part. That was the easiest part. I actually really wanted to be a flight attendant. That was what I really wanted to do.
How did you meet being a flight attendant?
I think it's me just seeing it.
Where? You had already flown?
No, but you see,
I did.
Like in the sense of, you're told if you want to be a doctor. It's in the aspect of, I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
So that those subjects you really had to.
Daktari bebe, mimi nilikuwa nasikia damu staki.
No, like for you now, you wanted to be cabin crew or whatever.
Yes.
So is that why you did French?
Yeah, that's why I did French. Yeah. So when you're saying about, when you're talking about subjects that you're doing in school that could probably equip you, that's one of those. That's actually one of those. But rarely does a child identify what exactly they want to do unless you as a parent identify it, or they keep doing the same thing over and over of some interest that they have.
Or let the kid,
yes,
as in parents, let
and
that's a
the thing about parents taking direction. I remember me telling you guys that my parents wanted me to do secretarial, and I wanted to do to be a flight attendant. I knew why I was taking French, because when we went to select subjects with my parents, I told them I want to do French. So since ni compulsory subjects ziko tayari, like mathematics, English, and those ones, it was for them to just let me decide what I wanted to pick. Yeah, and that's what I did. But when I finished high school, they did not see that vision, because they want me to get a job that earns me money and gives me quick employment. I didn't tell you. My dad wanted me, you know, okay, unajua babangu amekuwa jeshi in the Air Force. So he used to go to, is it DOD or somewhere, he used to bring a lot of, the British Army was quite significant at that time. So they used to come, and then I think they just have some training course with the Kenyan. It's just an interchange of something, or whatever they were doing. Mi niliambiwa niandikie barua handwritten. I go do kazi ndogo. Kazi ndogo. Yeah, office, like cleaning.
In the military? In
their office, yeah. So I can be able to see if I can get a chance of something that I can do there. So nianzie chini. And this is what my parents told me.
Yeah.
You have to start from somewhere. And that's what my dad told me. And that is where he wanted me to start. That's where he wanted me to start. Because you can serve tea, you can wipe, you can do cleaning there kidogo. Like my dad tried to really make me understand. And in my mind, I'm thinking,
there is more.
I don't want to do that. Like, I would be so shy, like, doing such a thing. It's like, unazaenda ufanyia wazungu hivi. His idea and his thought of the direction where he wanted to take me was very legit, and it was very innocent. But in my mind, I knew that I wanted more than they wanted for me. You get. So they never helped me get any of my jobs.
And it's interesting. It's interesting you put it that way, because there is what your parents would want for you.
Yes.
There is what the education that you're receiving can equip you with, and then there is what you would want for yourself eventually. You know.
And sometimes, Matthew, you don't even know what it is.
Well,
funny thing is, for me, I wouldn't say that I knew exactly what I wanted to be, but I could say I knew what I enjoyed. You know, and funnily, whenever I grew up in Isiolo, we were limited to exposure. It was just KBC at the time.
Yes.
If you wanted to watch something, KBC. There was no internet. You know, internet was for very specific people who were in offices. Ilikuwa dial up. Ile una sijui na ring na lazima connect to sijui wapi na uchukue hiyo satellite connect na hiyo LAN ni sahi.
Oh, really?
Yes. There's something called dial-up. Then you basically calling the internet.
Really?
Yeah. So, internet was not for a lot of people. So, the only information you would get was either newspaper, magazines, or TV. TV was KBC.
Yes.
Now, on KBC, there was this show that was called Hollywood Highlights. Niko naona tu limousine tu inapita ikisema cinema. And I really used to enjoy that show. And it was so amusing that I wanted to see top 10 movies. I wanted to see the behind the scenes of the movies. And I was more curious to see the trailers and the behind the scenes of the movies. I would really enjoy that. Later I come in life, I realize, okay, it's because I'm a storyteller. And I love telling stories in whatever medium. Yes, I was performing as an actor in primary school plays, church plays. Ndio mimi kama ni Christmas story, mimi ndio Joseph. Kama ni crucifixion story, mimi ndio Jesus. You know? Yes, I did play Jesus.
Your characters.
Yes, I did play Jesus. It's only once that I played the guy who washed his hands. Who washed his hands in Koni Kaifas. Washed his hands akasema whatever you do me nimeosha mikono yangu.
Pontius Pilate.
Pontius Pilate. Yes, that one. Yes.
Amesema Kaifas.
Ni Pilato. Yeah. So in primary school I remember the drama teacher was, I was happy with what I was doing, and they liked what I was doing. Did they, insist that you still have to, do your classes? Definitely. And they were very keen on that because pia ukianguka exam, haukuna kubaliwa to be part of drama.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat unfair because sawa
ukianguka
if you don't pass, they say it's because
you need
that's the thing. They're trying to make you wholesome because at the end of the day that education is very important because kuna zile subjects zilidropiwa and then there are politicians right now in our country who are insisting that there should be more emphasis on the science-based subjects as opposed to the humanity-based subjects. Wouldn't we now be confining our children to doing only specific things? Yet, personally, I feel yes, there are so many things that we did that are irrelevant to us now.
Yeah.
But in the midst of all that muck, the hustler was born. The hustler was born.
Yeah.
Wakenya wanaweza fanya kitu yoyote pahali popote in whatever way for as long as you find, like, we see so many opportunities in very many things, and watu huwa hawako closed-minded to just see things. Hakuna tunnel vision. Tuko hivi. Tunaona tu yote. Wachana masikio zangu.
They already
hakuna haja ufanye hivi.
Nakuona tu sana.
Wachana tunayofanya tu hivi.
Wachana masikio zangu. And you see, for that reason, I feel that probably with CBC, our kids might lose out on some things. But I'm glad right now, compared to our times, they have the internet.
Yes.
They can be, they have their own source of exposition.
Well,
right now, mtoi sahi anaweza chukua simu, aende online, atumie Visa card, afanye shopping.
I saw that. I saw a video about a child who bought candy. 300 candies kwa bag. Alafu ameitisha sijui doli gani. Like the child has spent over $12,000. Amazon from the card for the parent. Guy, mimi sijui. African parents.
Na amefurahi.
Imagine. And then she's there eating the candy. It's like, yeah, I did. Guy.
$12,000.
Oh, yo. Guy.
But you're trying to wonder how they managed to.
Yeah.
That's...
You see, the account is already linked to the Amazon account. And it's open to the whole family. So, I know.
Hiyo ndio pesa nimefanyia kazi kutoka January hadi December. Na haijaingia bado. Ninangojea tu bado ingie. Yeah, ametumia kununua candy. Because our kids, like, looking at my son right now, there are so many things he knows that I did not know when I was his age. I'm not very sure eventually whether it's going to, fade at some point, because the kind of education that they're getting right now, it's very, inapelekwa towards a very specific place.
Yes.
As opposed to the 844 system, which is very broad and general, where wherever you will fall, you will fall there. And then, as much as, yes, they were encouraging, at that time, they were encouraging the dramas and, the music festivals and the sports and whatnot. There was no emphasis to thrive in them. There was emphasis more to thrive in class. Thrive in class.
Very true.
So, with CBC, are they being encouraged to thrive in the other things?
Honestly, I don't know. Compared to... I'm only speaking to what I have
experienced with your child.
With my child.
I mean, that's
But let me tell you something that I saw different with CBC. I saw a course on social media and the dangers of social media to a child. What content to watch and what not.
Is that for you or for the child?
For the child. It's like a subject. Like I saw it and I didn't send you the screenshot. I think I sent it to Kendi. But I was really nilishtuka about it. But I think there's some aspect of CBC that is teaching kids to be equipped and to understand something when they're doing something practically. I'm not against it. Yeah, I think us as parents, it's just that it's an added load for us, which let me tell you, no, not really. And when it comes to assignments and the availability of the your parents, you have no choice but to get involved in it. Yeah.
Were your parents really involved in your?
Sisi walikuwa wanaingilia tu wakati kimeumana.
Walikuwa involved homework.
Kuja hapo na kijiti.
Yes,
wakati haujafanya.
Exactly.
Lakini ati take through every single night through homework. No.
Yeah. Well, at least my dad did at some point when it came to math. Yes, at some point, yes.
Actually, me personally, I don't remember at any one point doing homework with my parents. I don't remember. Probably they did, but I don't remember. But I remember seeing my brother having to do his homework with my aunt. Na alikuwa kimtandika tu proper. Juu naye unfortunately sabu haikuwa inaingia.
Yeah.
What? At this is 5. Take away 3. Take it where?
Why are we taking it there? Like,
why are we taking it? For what? So you leave it here.
That's actually
okay. Funny. For me, my mom retired when I was in primary school.
Your mom was a teacher?
No. My mom, okay, let me give it a backstory. I was adopted. So by the time my mom was adopting me, by the time I was, I think, maybe class 4, 5, I think my mom was retiring.
Okay.
Or she chose to retire.
What was she doing?
She was a teacher for the blind and she was a physiotherapist.
Okay.
And my mom was a hands-on mom. And that's the other thing I know about myself. Like, I used to babysit when I was in class 6 or whatever. I'm also very hands-on when it comes to kids. So my mom is that mom who'll pick us from school and then it's like, so how's your day? What did you do today? Like, every question, like, and you had to give answers. Then she goes to my brother. Then she goes to my sister. And then we would get home and then she'll be like, once she's done with those questions, she'll be like, oh, so I want to see you in my room after this. The rest you can go and play. You're like, woo, what have I done or not done? You get. But then, even when it came to homework, like, there was a lot of structure. Like, we'll get home, you're allowed to play. And my mom made sure we had every single thing. But you see, when you're younger, you don't even realize what she was trying to do. Like, you have like a kitchen garden, and then you get like a small portion. My mom used to make sure you've planted something, you've watered it, you've taken care of it. I remember there's a time I told my mom we were not allowed to actually just sit in the house. But you're sitting in the house. We're never allowed to watch TV. We used to, like, my mom used to read the newspaper every day. She used to buy the newspaper. That Sunday, there used to be the whole TV guide. My mom used to tick right upper. CHL children.
Okay.
Like, in a day, we'll watch one thing. And the only reason you'll watch that is because you're outside playing, you're doing things. And we had everything. Me, I'll say I was privileged in my own ways. I remember there's a day I told my mom, I'm bored. Where? My mom took a paper. She told me, I want you to write for me every single thing in this compound that you can do.
Wow.
Every single.
Mimi nilikuwa nikiambiwa kuboeka si ugonjwa. Naambiwa haya boeka tu. Kuboeka si ugonjwa.
I wrote. No, because my mom's like, you know, when you get to like class,
used to go out and play.
You know, when you go, no, it's that thing of when you get to class 6, 7, you start feeling, I'm mature. I can't start jumping
going
because
to play
you
with
need to
children.
play with Ducati or jumping up and down. No, you are that kind age.
That's our gender problem. Yeah. Sisi, we will play even when we are 75. Hatu I feel that we come at cheza.
So I'm trying to figure. I was like, now what do I do? My mom's like, I want you to write down everything. Do you know, up to today, I can't tell you I've ever been bored. After that, like, my mom's like, find out, figure it out.
Yeah.
So even now, like, when I was saying I wanted to become a doctor or whatever, it was just that thing. I don't think my mom took it too serious. I don't even know what it, when I really think about it. And please note, my mom was white. So even the way a black parent and a white parent are two very different. Like we were allowed to do whatever. Like I remember I'll tell my mom, Mommy, we need a mattress. My mom's like, what do you need a mattress for? It's like, well, you'll see. My mom's like, but you have a mattress. Like, no, don't even buy an expensive one. We just want a mattress. What is the mattress for? We have, my mom had put swings. So you'll put the mattress at an angle so that you can jump from the swing
to the mattress.
Please note, my legs are already gone. But who am I? Break a leg while you're at it. And my mom is like,
like you are safe. You can't break a leg again.
I went for the neck. Like double disability. Let's go for the neck this time, you know. And my mom said, like, what are you trying to do? Afterwards, she's like, you know what? If you get sick or do whatever, that's on you. Yeah. But we are allowed to really explore. And even in primary, like drama, whatever, those things, I was in all those. But it was because of the teachers. Like apart from the dancing aspect of it, I was always, the teacher is like, Bashir, what are you still doing in class? You have to do this. You have to be in this. So I used to do all those things. But then in high school, the teacher, like, there was no one to push me to do it. So I never really got into that whole... But then when I think about it right now, I was more of a creative than a class, science, whatever kind of thing. But you see, my mom passed when I was in Form 4. So I feel like that gap now from my mom passing to where I've been, I was very lost. Like, I really didn't know what to do, where I want to do. Like, because my mom was very structured, so I was also taught to be very structured. So I always ask myself, if my mom was still alive, what would I have done?
True.
Like, it's very interesting.
So it's clear then it's not just the education system that, shapes us. It's also home. What is happening at home? Sasa ungesema hivyo tungejua kwa nini Kiswahili inagongana.
Let me put it this way. At home we're speaking English. In private school. And my mom used to say this thing, where will Swahili take you? Look at me now.
Sasa unakwama.
Exactly.
Na Kiswahili.
Like, where would Swahili?
You have to do.
Let me give you guys that Swahili word that Sauda said. There's a time we went to Koroga, and then there is the
Koroga.
Yeah. We went to Koroga.
Are you sure? Are you sure you did not say sip something in Marema?
So we went to Koroga, and then there is the, what do you call that? The mawes in English.
Pebbles, stones.
Those ones for parking lot alone. This is in okay.
Cabro.
Not cabro.
They are broken to
Kokoto.
That one.
I said in English.
That one.
I said in English. Anyway, so
Gravel.
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 It's gravel.
There's gravel, there's mazeras.
Yes.
So which rocks?
One? This one's the kawaida ones, I think.
Gravel.
Kokoto. It's like, do you mean Kokoto? It's like, oh yeah, that's while.
Because everyone was laughing. I was like, did I say something?
Yeah.
But you see, for me, it was like, my mom used to make sure I pass it. English, math. I remember in history, in high school, I picked history, but everyone else in my family used to do geography. And my mom's like, why geography? Why history, not geography? So, and if my mom noticed I wasn't really performing in a certain subject, we'll get a tutor. Yes, like it was that. But you see, also, the other thing was, you see,
we get a tutor, we get a beating.
No, but let me tell you, Mato, how bad, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, I don't know if it's because my mom was white or whatever, but then at the end of the term, my mom used to file everything. So it's a new term, you've closed school, my mom will be like, first thing, even before you change uniform and whatever,
homework,
report form. And then she'll pull out last terms, whatever. English here, performance here, what happened here, what happened.
So you went to private school, but you still did 844.
I did 844, but I didn't focus so much like in Swahili and whatever, because in my mind, that was what my mom was like.
This won't help.
Yes, but you see, like, things like art and stuff like that, like, my mom would buy all those paint brushes, all those, like, paint and stuff like, I'm like, oh, I want to try tie and dye. I'm allowed to do it.
Actually, it's funny because we would not be allowed to do these funny, explorative things. We were only,
whatever is within the budget and compound.
Yes, not even budget and compound, because when growing up, it's clear then that school equipped you with all the subjects,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
at home you were allowed to explore whatever you needed to, create
Yes.
both creatively and probably scientifically as well.
Yes, because even what we watched, like I told you, my mom used to. Like I used to watch Gillette World Sports Special. I used to watch Deutsche Welle, like documentaries.
So
and stuff.
Japan video topics.
Yeah, I used to
Yes.
love that thing. Like even Dunia Wiki.
Yes.
Like those are you know, I never watched cartoons because
Yeah.
to my mom's like, what is like what does it help you? I never watched things like No One But You and those things. Never.
Oh my God, you
ever.
have been robbed.
Let me tell you, yeah.
You
like
have
even
been robbed.
I used to read. My mom used to be a reader,
Mhm.
so by the time I'm in class 4, I'm reading my mom's Petal of Blood. But then the thing was, even any book I picked, like my mom had to read it first.
No, it explains
Even
lot.
a movie that we would go with my mom to pick the movie, she'll look at what the movie is about. When we go to school, she'll watch that movie.
Mm. And then you'll come
And
watch
then
it
now
later.
she'll come and watch later. And even there are things that should make us watch because she was preparing for a conversation.
Mm.
In class 4, my mom was talking to me about sex.
Mhm.
So even like as a kid, like when I look at, and that's the thing I'm saying, I don't know if it's because my mom was white.
Mm.
It was an easy conversation for
Yeah.
her or
Yeah.
not, but yeah.
I
Then-
tend to think that's true. It's because of who she is.
Not really that she was white. It's because she was,
exposed
exposed differently.
different.
Exposed differently.
Yes,
Yes.
because you can be tuko na mzungumbwi tu huku Kenya.
Very true.
Umezaliwa Kibera,
No,
umeishi Kibera,
Macho,
umelelewa.
This is my argument.
Yeah.
Look at our age and at that time, compare it to South.
Yeah, I'm saying she was exposed differently
Yes,
because she clearly
yes.
did not grow up in
Yes.
Kenya. Yes.
And
Oh, my mom?
Yes.
No.
She did not grow up in Kenya. So she was exposed differently. So she was very deliberate in the things that she wanted to
Very.
do
Yeah.
for her children. Clearly. If our parents probably, because you see, there are things also about my life that, yes, my dad was born in Kenya, grew up in Kenya, yes, but he studied in the UK. There are some things that I was exposed to
Yes.
differently as
Yes.
well
Yes.
that have equipped me to, like things like those. My dad used to dip my head in a bucket of water if I fell asleep while watching BBC News. While, like, I'd be bored to
Why?
death watching BBC News. But he would dip my head in a bucket of water and yamke. Watch BBC News. This is how you get
Yes.
to know about the world. My
True.
dad would force me to watch the Olympics.
Even
No.
let me tell you, when Princess Diana died,
I knew about it.
My mom made sure we skipped school to watch
To
it.
skip school.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that
I'm
is
telling-
different.
We had to watch. Yeah, my mom was very. Let me tell you, my mom would be traveling to Nairobi and coming back, but we would skip school to go with my mom to Nairobi and come back. Like my mom never left us.
Eh.
It was that way.
Sisi wakati alikufa ilikuwa kwa sababu my brother had a crush and her name was Diana. Wakati alisema Princess Diana is dead. Diana wangu amekufa. That's what my bro said. Because Diana was his princess at the time.
Wow.
So
Yes.
clearly, so education is one thing
Yeah.
that shapes the kind of things that we will want for ourselves, and definitely upbringing. So clearly, it goes to say that as parents, we also have to be very deliberate
Very.
about the
No,
kind of
that's
things
true.
that we are both exposing our children to,
to, yeah.
and showing them, your parent has
Let me tell
challenged
you.
me.
Let me
Your
tell
mom
you.
has challenged me.
Kabisa.
Let me tell you.
Like I realized.
I actually tried to compare her experience with mine. It's totally different. My dad
Let me
used to
tell
buy
you.
a storybooks. Yes, he wants me to read, but he can't force it down my throat.
Me, I would beg to get storybooks. I would beg. I
used
wanted
to buy those
storybooks.
things, but
I
he
never got
couldn't
them.
we
force
had
me to
we,
read.
we had our own library and my mom had her own library. Yes. Like
Okay,
we
explains
had
a lot.
No,
why
that's
you
not
have
just
books.
privilege.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
saying
not.
I because of privilege. It's
No,
that's very
it's-
deliberate.
And that's the thing. That's the question I see a lot of people on social media saying that today's kids don't read books today. It's monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Because that's what my
True. No,
mom
that's
used to
true.
do all the time.
That's true.
So do you
Yes.
still read books today?
I
She
enjoy
does.
reading books.
Imagine me, I'd rather watch a movie, I'd rather listen to the radio, I'd rather reading.
That is
Like
true.
I will research something specific
In a
and
book,
I am done. Not even in a book right now on the internet. Why would I look for
I
something
know.
in a book from page 1 to the end? And because growing up, I did not have, I was for some reason, it was only specific books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Zilizohitajika shuleni kwa class. And I'm not saying I'm faulting my parents for this. You know, they just weren't exposed to that need.
And don't you as a parent also, okay, so what you said is really good because it makes me feel better that there's someone else who's like me that I don't have to jazza a whole set of books. Well, I'll do it just because of my kids. I will do it. But there's also the aspect of trying to equip them differently.
Yeah.
And personally, also, I don't know how to read books the way she does. I'm not a bookworm.
I also don't know
I will
how to
only read
books
that
like
book if I'm researching something.
Yeah.
Because I have an interest on something.
Even
like
in school.
When, example, Michelle Obama becoming. This is a book. It came out fast, right? When that movie came out, I watched it.
Before you read the book?
I have not read the book.
Oh, you've not even read the book?
No.
Lord of the Rings. I've watched the movie. I've not read the book.
Me too.
And even in like right now, my child is very interested in books, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to keep kuweka kwa hiyo. Mimi sasa ni wale shule nilikuwa nikishika mwalimu akifunza. If I missed a class, and I think I'm sure you mentioned it here, we should be wrapping up this one. If I missed a class, that subject nitangangana nayo. Like I remember in primary school, I missed the topic on the circumference. Because the next day, because I was sick that week, then the next week I come, they know about circumference, they know about radius, they know about the pi r squared. I was like, what is pi r squared? Find the volume of a cone. I have no idea. I really struggled with that. Eventually, I caught up because I wasn't there in class to learn about it.
Yeah.
Ile kuna kujitafutia kwa kitabu.
But see, that's very interesting because in primary, I used to be top 3 with very good marks. And it's because of what I used to read and general knowledge. I was very good with that.
Yeah.
So I used to use that elimination method. Like my mom used to tell me, read the question, don't look at the answers. Answer it in your head.
Yeah.
And then if you don't see the answer, start eliminating.
Yeah.
Now,
I actually used to do that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the problem with high school now for me is the same thing with you. No, it's the same thing with you. Even in uni, I have to attend the class.
Yeah.
I don't know how to read after, but storybooks and whatever, I read the Bible from cover to Revelation nilikuwa ninaogopa. I was like, no, I don't want to go to hell. Like, whoa,
the end of the world.
Yeah, like the end of the world.
The demons.
I used to read, like, it's 9 o'clock. My mom's like, oh, it's bedtime. Mom's like, okay, mommy, see, just here, this chapter, I swear, this chapter. Like, I used to read,
that is so interesting.
A book, like, I can't wait to get
embarrassed.
home.
I still haven't read the Bible from cover to cover.
Let me tell you, this is
Do you know what I got? An
you.
audiobook. I got an audiobook of the Bible. Na bado siko mwisho. Nilifika Kings, second Kings.
I
Nikakwamia
used
hapo.
to read it. Yeah. But see, for me now in class, it was totally... That's why in high school, I really struggled.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was now like, I'm in class. Like, it came down to memorizing. So I used to thrive in things like history because I used to enjoy reading history.
So clearly, it's not just in school. It's at home as well.
Yeah.
Home has a very big influence on school. So to the young parents, but they who are watching
let
this,
me just say, raising a teen is totally different because whatever you are equipped with, and I think it's something that you picked up
from when you were younger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so different right now with our kids, this generation, with the Roblox. And the games that we have and the internet and phones. And I always have an argument with someone about phones and accessing phones, the kids and everything. But that's just where our kids are. But if you equip them differently, which I think has also been quite a challenge when it comes to teens, because you kind of have to put them in that specific space of learning how to read the books or minimizing the screening time and everything, then it just becomes totally different.
Yeah, of course, you're mzigo because they've already formed themselves, especially they're teenagers now. They're going through adolescence and whatnot. They're forming an opinion of themselves.
So if your kid is actually into books, I would say just go with it.
Actually, run with it, yes.
Run with it, because one of my kids is also just like me. Apendi kusoma vitabu. Doesn't like it.
But
But that
anapita
boy
shule.
is a creative.
Anapita shule.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Okay.
And he's a creative. So it just depends on how you're raising your child. You don't really have to force down the child, something down the child's throat.
Yeah.
Just try to understand your child and see how they relate to some specific things.
But you can also introduce things to them.
Exactly.
This
You
is
can.
true. This is
You
true.
can. You can. So
Alright.
if you try to find the hobby that they really like, if it's creative games, if it's painting or something, just expose them to that. You're building your child's future by helping them grow a skill. You're not wasting money. You're trying to invest in your child, which is really important.
So bottom line is school can only do so much.
Yes.
Your upbringing.
You as a parent can do more.
Yeah.
Because you need to also be very deliberate about it. And it's good then. Clearly then, in the long and short of it is CBSE ni mzuri. Because as a parent, you have to be involved.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is very good.
Yeah.
Hey, aya. Mimi nimejifunza na hii.
Alafu najua
Mimi by the way, mama yako ameni-challenge.
Let me finish with this. I remember when I used to babysit and whatever, and it started as a joke, by the way, because our neighbors' kids used to be up our fence. My mom's like, yo, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. She's like, can you get those kids? So they started doing it every morning. One day my mom was like, I am done. Tonight, I want you to prepare what this, and there are 5 kids of different age, but they were like a year, 2 years apart from each other. She said, I want you tonight, before tomorrow, I want you to prepare what you're going to do with these kids. So niko hapo nime collect my coloring, my pencils, my colors, my 2 books, too small. Do you know I organized how those kids, what they would do the whole day?
Playtime.
Yeah, like we'll color this time. Like you see one kid is taking
God.
everything. They're like, no, you have to learn how to share. Like by the end of it, I was an expert at Nini.
Babysitting.
Yeah, and my mom was like, you have to do this. Like you need to figure out how to do this.
That's impressive.
That's already a lesson in management. That's already a lesson in management.
Nabano.
Yeah.
I know. That's really, really impressive.
Hey, I need more lessons about the things your mom did for you.
I think now
That's your character.
it brings a lot. Yeah, because a lot
yes.
of people when they meet, like you see things differently.
Yeah.
And I'm very open-minded to a lot of things.
Mm.
I was like, just my upbringing, like I was just exposed maybe to.
You are raised differently.
But even as adults, we still learn.
We still learn.
We still learn.
We still learn.
Imagine,
We still learn. And we hope that people can keep learning with this podcast, by the way.
Yes.
That's the intention of it.
Yes.
Anyway, tumalizie hapo hivyo sasa.
Yeah,
Tunamalizia. I'm Daddy Mato.
I am Joy Rock Chica.
I'm Sauda Bashir.
See you guys in the next episode.
Peace out.